And now I'm going to call forward Danica Noble, who is part of the Washington State Parent-Teacher Association.
Hello.
Hi. Thank you so much for
great.
joining
You can hear me.
us. I like
Absolutely.
the artwork behind you.
I married a chef and we like hamburgers. It helps keep meetings on time. Well, thank you very much for having me here today. I am with the Washington State PTA. I drafted our policy on AI, but I am also co-chair of the Antitrust, Consumer Protection, and Unfair Business Practices for the last 10 years with the Washington State Bar Association, and I have a 20-year career in federal antitrust and consumer protection law enforcement.
Pardon me.
I'm so glad we're here today.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Can you just state your name for the record?
And my name is Danica Noble.
Thank you.
For students, AI-powered chatbots are not simple homework helpers. They're deliberately designed, as you just heard, to build emotional bonds, maximize the time on platform, and optimize engagement using deeply personal data about a child's feelings, relationships, and vulnerabilities, including their neurobiology vulnerabilities. And without clear legal guardrails, that business model creates especially perverse incentives when the user is a child. And the computer pointed at their brain trying to keep them there is one of the most powerful in history. We're already seeing these synthetic friendships with chatbots normalize self-harm, promote suicide and violence, introduce sexual content, as these chatbots impersonate trusted friends, romantic partners, and have even held themselves out as certified healthcare professionals. This has resulted in some devastating real-world outcome, which I'm sure you're going to hear about. I wanted to take one step back for a moment to talk about what we learned from social media, because the chatbots are kind of level 2. So social media was the first AI type interaction. These were algorithms that were optimized narrowly for attention and engagement. And the result was that we found that you could maximize engagement through enragement, this polarizing content, extreme content. And the result, instead of the promise of connecting the world more than ever before, has resulted in a loneliness epidemic, fractured attention, political polarization. And youth have really bore the greatest cost here, facing a mental health and educational crisis. So now that business model and the incentives there were really about the attention economy. So while these products were offered at zero price, they certainly weren't free. At zero price, the children and other users paid with their attention. And as the legislative solutions, certainly at the state level, not so much at the federal level, have come, the lawsuits that are trying to get at this are getting at the addictive design, and I think that's a good thing. But now we're at point 2, which is the AI has really evolved. And this comes with the large language models and the mastery of these machines in terms of language, not just English and other dialects, but of biology, of music, of art. And with that has come the next business model, which has been described as attachment hacking or attachment economy. So the idea there is to, again, to get the users to stay online as much as possible, to extract as much data, and the way that is happening with chatbots is different than the social media, which was, again, that enragement equals engagement. This one, as you just heard, is more about being overly encouraging. Sycophants is something that people often say here. So I think Character AI CEO kind of said the quiet part out loud, talking about we're not trying to replace Google with these chatbots. We're trying to replace your mom. And so this is particularly damaging for kids. And given the subject matter of this committee, you probably are familiar somewhat with how important attachment is for children, and these chatbots are looking like they're going to disrupt that. So these companions aren't just going for their attention. Again, they're going for attachment. You've got more 40% of kids who already have some sort of relationship with AI chatbots, and they're moving from kind of where you focus to who you are going to become. And so the science behind this that's leading to some of the harms in terms of disorders with attachment is about mirror neurons. When we have companions, our brain runs feedback on how that works, but AI chatbots have no internal state. You're not getting that feedback. And so this can produce one of the up and coming harms, this psychosis. But there are also subclinical attachment disorders, which may be just as damaging. In the name of time, I'm just going to turn a little bit to what guardrails might look like, and then maybe a few points to this bill. I love that the bill, as I read it, said that these kind of requirements kick in when there's reason to believe that a user is a minor. That's better than just when a user is a minor. And yet we know from COPA, the Child Online Protection Act, that if it's just when you have to know to trigger the obligations, it creates the incentive not to know. And so I would suggest considering making not necessarily age verification and getting into the uploading of data and those types of things, but potentially age estimation, because if they have to know somebody's a minor, they're going to make it their business not to know. So that's one idea. In addition, some of the good guardrails could be prohibition on anthropomorphic language, such as "I am a counselor," "I am your friend." And then a third is you've got 1 in 5 kids, maybe 1 in 4 kids, who their peers are reporting are entering romantic relationships with chatbots. So potentially a prohibitive, manipulative design tactic here could be mimicking romantic partners. So if you're just looking at suicide, I'm not sure you would necessarily catch the tragedy of Sewell Setzer, who ended up in that route seemingly through one of these romantic relationships. So disclosures, not just that this is AI, but this is should not be used for healthcare, not allowing people to mimic romantic chatbots, and then spelling out that violations are potentially deceptive practices, unfair business practices, spelling out the liability or explicitly saying this is like a dangerous product liability. Those are some of my thoughts. I have more on this bill and in general, but I thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.